So I'm Kelly, and I'm Kelly with IfYouHaveAnEgg.com, and this is, what day is it? September the 29th. Remember, I've dated everything the 30th all day long. And hello, Barbara. So the second half of tonight's chat, we're going to talk about WW on the go. I have had, again, Victoria has asked me about this. We had somebody in Gwen's group ask about this. I needed it this last week, so I thought it was a perfect time to talk about, just to spend a quick 30 minutes talking about, August. Did I say September, Sylvia? Did I say September? Okay, it's August 29th. I've called it August. I think I've dated everything 8:30 today. Anyway, so I'm just getting ready for September. I guess I'm just a day early. Anyway, so the whole second half of this, we're going to talk about kind of WW Weight Watchers on the go. I needed it this last week. Victoria needed it this last week. I don't know what they were doing at work or where they were headed, but she was kind of like, I need to know right now. And we had somebody ask about it in Gwen's group. So we're going to go over some ways to do WW Weight Watchers, to do that when you're on the go. Okay, the first thing is, I get it. I know. I drove for volleyball. I drove for soccer for years and years and years. So all of you moms who had last year off, all of last year off, I get it. Y'all are busy. So 2020, though, was like the year of the shut-in. It was like we were all shut-ins last year. People were developing hobby farms. I joined a gardenery group. We were doing things that we wouldn't normally have done. New kitchen gadgets were being snatched off the shelf and shipped to homes. People were signing up for home delivery, food services. I think Karen tried, I don't know, three or four of them last year, and finally landed on one. And TikTok recipes were explored more than anything. I kept getting TikTok. I don't even have TikTok. Never even done it. Don't know how to do it. Don't want it, I don't think. But I had more TikTok recipes showing up on my feed than anything else. I don't think there's ever been a time in history, a time in recent history, that this many people have been at home making meals, eating meals, whatever. But guess what? Delta variant or not, this year we're going back to football games. We're going back to practices. Kids are back at school. People are traveling more. They're having, travel dinners and lunches out, eating meals in the car. We're all of a sudden, we're kind of back to normal. But I don't know about you, but I'm out of practice. So I had spent 24 years developing my technique for eating out, eating on the run, being gone, traveling for work, things like that. It only took 1 year. It only took a year and a handful of months with COVID for me to get way out of the habit of this. So I don't know if you're out of the habit. I'm out of the habit. So we're all going to get back in the habit together. The first thing we're going to talk about is, hello, Deborah. First thing we're going to talk about is fast food. So not thrilled with fast food options only because of the sodium content, and for the most part, it's a lack of real nutrition. So, there are we're going to talk about some better options. We're going to talk about some better fast food options, but the sodium content alone, we just need to use this as a backup plan. And the high likelihood of abuse, because I don't know if you're like me, but sometimes I have a plan for what I'm going to get when I pull up to the window, and when they say, welcome to, can I take your order? My brain just goes, it just has a little spasm moment. So the ones that are the best for you, first thing I want you to do is to use your app. And I want you to scroll down. If you go to the home page on your app, on an iPhone, you can scroll down to the bottom, and there's a section called restaurants. And if you go to the restaurant section, you can either search by smart points or you can search by the restaurant. I don't know how many of you all didn't know that feature was there, but if you go to restaurants, instead of going to food, like to track food and then having to search through all of that, just go straight to the bottom on your home page, go to restaurants, and either click on smart points or the restaurant. The reason that the smart points feature is there is if you're trying to decide where you're going to go and you only have, or how many smart points you have or how many you want to spend, you can go straight. You can go straight to, I only want to spend 0 to 3, 4 to 7. I think it's 0 to 3, 4 to 7. I don't remember what the little carousel is, but you can go straight there, and then you can make an educated decision. You can make an informed decision of where you're going to go after you see what falls into those smart points. So do not get in line without knowing what you're going to get and without what you're going to order. Don't get in line without knowing what you're going to order. Those are where some of the biggest regret parties, are held, is at the end of that line when you've already purchased your food and you realize how many points it is. Okay, so the first one, winner, Chick-fil-A dinner. So y'all knew I was going to say that when I'm in the South. That is God's chicken. I mean, it seriously is God's chicken. So 12 grilled nuggets, a cup of fruit, and a small diet lemonade are only 3 points on purple. So, and that's a lot of food. So I mean, that's a good option. But a pro tip, avoid the sauces if you can, because a thing of Chick-fil-A sauce is like, I don't know, 8 or 9 points. The barbecue is like 2 or 3. They do have one that's like 1 point, but the chicken, it's so good, you really don't need any sauce on it. Okay. The next one is Dunkin'. So a lot of you all are Dunkin' junkies. And are going in for food. And Dunkin' makes so many like froofy kid type drinks now that I see a lot of you all going through Dunkin' with your kids, when you're headed to school or headed to soccer practice or whatever. But at Dunkin', a bacon, egg, and cheese wake up wrap with a medium iced coffee with almond milk is 6 points. So you can have that wrap and the iced coffee with the almond milk for 6 points on purple. And then everybody in your car can find something that they like. Oh no, Kathy says at Wendy's, small Frosty is out of my mouth. Yeah, I know. So you got it. Don't go to Wendy's. Then just don't go to Wendy's. Although they do have a good option, but everybody can find something they like. But a pro tip: the veggie egg white wrap is only 1 point less, and it doesn't. And it's a veggie egg white. That I don't think that's as filling as the. Let me make sure I get the name right. Bacon, egg, and cheese wake up wrap. So it's only 1 point more, and that's more filling to me. But also, pro tip: warning. The turkey sausage wake up is 1 point more. So I would have chosen the turkey sausage wake up instead of the bacon, egg, and whatever it is, bacon, egg, and cheese, because I would have thought that it would have been less. It's actually a point more. And then at Taco Bell, when I go to Taco Bell, I take a piece of fruit with me, or if I bring it back, I do, unless I've just not going to use many points that night. But Taco Bell, I know y'all are thinking Taco Bell. Yeah, but Taco Bell one Doritos Locos hard shell taco is 5 points, and then if you take a piece of fruit with you, that to me that's enough. But I don't go in. We get it to go. We get the taco to go, so that I don't go in and start trying to add things to my to my list. But another pro tip: do not be fooled. The taco salad, depending on what you fill it with, could be 17 to 19 points. So I hear people go, "Oh yeah, I got a Taco Bell and to get the salad," and I'm like, "It ain't no salad. It has a little bit of lettuce in the bottom, but beyond that, it is not a salad." So yeah, don't be fooled into getting that. Okay, hotel sleepovers. I know a lot of y'all travel for work. John and I used to. We have not had to do that in quite a while, but traveling to conventions and competitions, because I know a lot of you all travel for work. Even more of you go to volleyball conventions, trade show conventions. I hear more and more things, all these competitions with your kids, gymnastic competitions, all these things, and you're stuck inside with nothing to eat. So when you go to the hotels, when you're doing the sleepovers at the hotel, when you're sleeping over at a hotel, you spend most of your time at the hotel. It can be a weight loss nightmare, but it doesn't have to be. So most decent sized hotels have a complimentary breakfast. Stay away from the flippy waffle thing, okay? Let your kids play with that. Do not get a flippy waffle, because then you're gonna want butter on it, and then you're gonna want syrup on it, and you're just gonna blow all your points, her points, my points, yeah, all of those points. So just stay away from that thing. Let the kids play with that. But choose things like they almost all have hard-boiled eggs. Almost all of them have hard-boiled eggs. They all have fresh fruit. Some of them they almost all have yogurt, but if you're not sure about how many points are in the particular yogurt that they have set out, just go ahead and scan it. You can use the scanner on your app there, and nobody's watching you. Everybody just woke up anyway. So go ahead and do that, or you can take your own packs. I've done this before. I've taken my own packs of either like lower sugar oatmeal packets or instant grits. Take those, and they always have hot water, and go ahead and make your own grits. And grits are like 3 to 4 points, and the oatmeal's 3 to 4 points. But go ahead and do that so that you can control the points. But if you need something that's grab and go, all of them have bananas. They all have bananas. And if they don't have bananas, ask somebody, because that means they just ran out of bananas. But they all have bananas, and they all have those little tiny peanut butter cups. And the little tiny peanut butter cups are like 1 to 2 points. So grab one of those. So grab a banana and a little tiny peanut butter cup, and for 2 points or less, you have breakfast at the hotel. Okay, for sit down scenarios. So post-game parties, you won your soccer match, you've done the, softball tournament, whatever. Dinner meetings from work, hanging out with the other parents while the kids are on inning 11-7, and Sylvia knows what I'm talking about, because you want your kids to win or your grandkids to win, but at some point you're like, oh my gosh, can we lose? Could somebody trip one of our kids so we can just go home? We've been here for days. But for things like that, so a couple of suggestions if you're going to be going out somewhere to eat, and it's somewhere that you're going to sit down and actually eat. Pick 3. Always pick 3. We do this at work too. We'll pick 3 things, 3 choices for somebody else. So if you have any choice in the voting on where you all are going to eat, pick 3 restaurants that that there's something there that you can eat. You're not going to get stuck going to the pizza buffet every time. You have a decent chance of winning. Most of the time people are like, I don't care, what do you want? I don't care, what do you want? I don't know, what do you want? Or they're letting the kids pick. So instead, go ahead and throw out your idea of 3 things, 3 places that you would like to go that you already know you can find something, decent there, because you got a much better chance of getting to go to one of those than if you just go, I don't know, I don't care. So don't do that. Okay, know before you go. Even if it's not the restaurant that you picked, even if it's not one of your 3, if it's something that's on the app, or there's something that's similar that's on the app, look up what you're going to eat before you go if you can. And if you can, go ahead and track it before you get there. If you pick what you're going to get before you get there, and if you go ahead and track it, you are like 1,000,000 times more likely. That's not a real statistic, but you are like 1,000,000 times more likely to actually get what you had planned on if you go ahead and look at it and then choose it. Okay, so my top picks: Cracker Barrel. Always. That's the first place that I picked for Victoria when she called, or when she texted this week. Cracker Barrel, you can get 6 grilled chicken tenderloins, green beans, pinto beans, and yes, I know green beans and pinto beans are 2 kinds of beans. My grandmother and my dad, they would be rolling over right now if they knew that we were talking about this. Anyway, yeah, it's 2 kinds of beans. Move on. And seasonal fruit is only 4 smart points on purple. That's just 4 smart points on purple. And a pro tip, if you go to Cracker Barrel, the biscuit without butter. So if you get a Cracker Barrel biscuit without butter, it's 2 points less than if you get the piece of cornbread without butter. Who knew that? Because I would always pick cornbread thinking, oh, that biscuit's so rich and savory. It has to be more points. It's actually 2 points less. And hello, Anita. Yeah, Anita says she tries to pre-count and choose. That's a great idea. So that's my idea on Cracker Barrel. Panera is another good one, and I think most areas of the country have Panera. I know everybody doesn't have Cracker Barrel, but it is starting to ooze out into other areas. But Panera, a cup, not a bowl, a cup of Panera bread, turkey chili, and then half of a bacon turkey Bravo on tomato basil is 11 points on purple. And everybody's going to want what you got because it looks good and it tastes fantastic. And so a half of that sandwich is plenty big enough with the cup of the turkey chili. But do not let them give you bread as your side or the chips. Always get the apple. Always go for the apple. And then at Applebee's, at someplace like Applebee's, their 6-ounce top sirloin with a house salad and fat-free Italian dressing. And if you add on a grilled shrimp skewer is still 11 points on purple. That's a whole lot of food for 11 points. That's a ton of food for 11 points. But again, pro tip, do not, at places like Applebee's, do not get the steamed broccoli. So don't get the steamed broccoli. It's covered in butter. And even if you ask them to leave the butter off, most of them can't pull that off. Most of them absolutely cannot pull that off. They can't hold it. So you're going to be sorely disappointed if you get broccoli as your side somewhere like Applebee's and then it's drowned in butter. Yeah, I would be ticked off. Okay, then, okay, I left myself 15 minutes and that's good because it's going to take us 15 minutes to talk about this. So let's get another sip of water. Okay. The last one is my favorite. because this is exactly what we do when we're on road trips. This is exactly what we did at all those volleyball tournaments. This is exactly what we did at all those soccer tournaments. Driving down the road, going camping, any time that we're going to be in the car for an extended period of time, if we're going to be in bleachers for an extended period of time, hanging out, waiting on kids to get done, swim tournaments. This is perfect for things like this. So these are going to be cooler tips and tricks, and this is not all of this needs to go in a cooler, but that's what I call it, because I put even non-cooler items, I will put them in other containers and put them in the cooler, just so that I've got it all together. It's all together. I can roll it in together. I prefer, if you're going to go into a soccer, not soccer, like a stadium type situation. Now, I'm not talking a UT football game, okay? So, people, if you live in Knoxville and you love UT, and I'm sure that the other college stadiums are like this, they ain't gonna let you come rolling in with a rolling bag, Okay, so let's see. Carol Lou says it's perfect timing. She's going away on a sister's getaway road trip in 2 weeks. Okay, this is perfect. So this is just for Carol Lou. All the rest of y'all don't pay attention. Just kidding. So a football stadium, they're not gonna let you roll in with this, and I've had them kind of look at me sideways sometimes at volleyball tournaments or soccer tournaments or things like that where they had a concession stand. I always just tell them I have dietary restrictions, I'm allergic to something, whatever. If you look pitiful enough and if you sound convincing and if you don't pitch a fit, you got a really good chance of getting in. And if you don't, you can just take your snack, you can eat your snacks out in your vehicle, okay? Because you're going to put all this in a cooler. Ooh, and Sylvia's going to Golden next weekend. Ooh, that's awesome. So be nice. If you're going in if you're going into like soccer tournament, volleyball tournament, whatever, be sweet if you're trying to smuggle this stuff in. Okay, at Disney, we have found that we can get in with every bit of this as long as you don't use glass containers. And they love it if it's see-through, and they love it if if they can look in your bag and see what's going on. So, okay, so just remember, be nice. If it's a situation where they already have food, be nice, before you bring this in, and be a little pitiful. So you don't have to tell them you're doing Weight Watchers. You don't have to tell them you're on a diet. Just tell them you have a dietary restriction or that you're allergic to something, and they're much more likely to let you in. And Barbara's going to a girls trip to Disney. I'm so jealous. In October, I am super, super jealous. Okay, so let's go through these before I talk and run out of time. First thing, I know it's more expensive, and we talked about this last week, but buy some already pre-prepared things. So especially if it's something with the kids, you are not going to be sitting over there on the sidelines cutting a watermelon or washing grapes, or whatever. So some pre-cut and pre-contained things like these are perfect for those kinds of trips. They're in sturdy enough containers. They'll sit down in your cooler. You can stick some ice around them and keep them cold. The kids can eat them with their fingers. You can eat them with your fingers. It doesn't just have to be for kids, but I love, pre-done stuff like that, exactly for those types of trips. And remember, this works for camping too. So, and we do this for road trips. So next thing, hard-boiled eggs. Hard-boiled eggs can travel anywhere. When we get done hard boiling them, I peel a couple of them so that we can just grab them and eat them if we're driving somewhere. But if we're not, I'll put them in like an empty yogurt container or something, some other kind of plastic container so that they don't, crack and get all, weird, whatever. But hard-boiled eggs are perfect anywhere that you're going. Any kind of light cheese, like Baby Bell light cheese. We love this. This is 1 point. Any kind of light, like Colby Jack cheese. This is that what this is? This is reduced fat Colby Jack, and this is light string cheese. This is frozen 2 string cheese. Things like that are perfect for those kind of trips. You can pack those in a bag. You can pack them in your suitcase. You can put them in the cooler. They should be kept refrigerated, but those are perfect for things like that. If you don't want to take fruit with you, like if you need some other kind of fruit, unsweetened applesauce. I love it. I take unsweetened applesauce all the time. I almost always have some in my bag. This is like, talk about using in the hotel. If you make your own, if you took your own little oatmeal packet and then dump some of this in there, oh my gosh, it's awesome and amazing. And then people are like, what are you doing? It smells so good. But yeah, applesauce packets, these also, or unsweetened applesauce things, these also Uh-oh. I put my lid on so tight I can't get it off. Well, that's weird. I've never, ever, ever had that happen. Little lid is... Okay, well, we won't use that. Anywho, those fit perfectly down in those type of containers. And again, they also, so like those big things of yogurt that y'all see me get, those big giant things of yogurt, I save all of those because I pack stuff like this in it. Couple of convenience things that you can get. Don't take a giant thing of any kind of nuts. So little packets of nuts, like this is a little packet of salted peanuts. This is 6 points for this packet. These are Emerald's 100 calorie packs. This one is cashews, almonds, and dried cranberries. This is 4 smart points for that. So I can make this last a little bit longer, but if I had a big bag of peanuts or a big bag of this, I'd eat the whole big bag instead of just eating the 6 points worth or the 4 points worth. And these are also good for the kids. So if this is something, and these are not perishable. So if this is something that you're taking the kids on, like again, soccer, volleyball, whatever, or the trip, go ahead and pack those for the kids. Other types of snacks, always great to keep on hand. And I do go ahead and I put these in Ziploc bags and I should have brought one of them with me. I'll try to remember to take a picture of one of them and show you, but John only uses all laundry pods. So he does all of our laundry and he's allergic to every smell that there is. And he only uses all, man, I wish I had brought one to show you all, but he uses all laundry pods. And they come in these huge containers like this, but they are great for putting snacks like this down in, these kinds of things. We put those down in there, and then on the outside of it, it just says camping snacks. And then when anybody wants one, they just grab one of those containers, take the top off, and they flip through it and look. Like these are Cliff bars, but these are the minis. The minis are 4 points. So I mean that's it tastes like a little chocolate chip cookie. You can put these in your backpack. Or put them in that, and people can, whoever's with you, again, volleyball, soccer, softball, whatever, this is a great idea, for them, because then they can just dig through there and get what they want. Quest bars, even though, yes, Deborah, my husband does all the laundry. He was at home washing dishes while I was getting ready tonight. Yeah, I'm going to keep him. We've been married, I don't even know how long, 30 something years. I've decided he has to stay. So otherwise I would not have clean clothes. Anyway, so Quest bars, they're 4 to 5 smart points. Quest bars are a little hard. People sometimes complain about them, but if you're at a volleyball, soccer, outside, camping, whatever, they get miraculously soft when they're in the heat. These also go great in that pod, container. Always keep something like this, like Premier Protein. So when you go through Dunkin' and you go, almond milk, why did Kelly say I had to have almond milk? I wanted something peach flavored, or I wanted something cookies and cream, or something else. Instead of taking what they were going to put in it, you can always put something like Premier Protein in it. The whole container is a lot. That's 2 smart points. So you could split it with somebody. That's plenty. Half of one of these is plenty to put in your to-go coffee. Let me take a breath. Oh no, I better talk fast. How did I already get to 7 minutes left? Okay, so one of my favorite things to do, and one of John's favorite things to eat, I put this in here. This is not mine. This was out of the refrigerator at Casey Kitchen Center. I put this in here so that y'all can see this. I see so many of y'all buying these at convenience stores. This is still semi better than going through the Arches or whatever. But it's still not great. So this is I think these are like 8 to 10 smart points, and it's like a little teeny tiny handful of cubed cheese, a little tiny handful of nuts, and then it has some cubed chicken in it. Okay, instead of this, what we do when we're traveling is I pack, again, in a container that is this size, or like the empty yogurt containers, and then I write on the top of it what it is, so everybody looking in the cooler knows exactly what it is. That means turkey tenderloin. I'll make 2 or 3 of them and go ahead, depending on how many people are going to be in the car with us or traveling or whatever, or kids are going to be there, and go ahead and chunk it. So go ahead and cut it into chunk size pieces. And if you're on purple, that's 0. So that's 0 smart points. And then you can do one of these for 1. And then you could eat one of these for 4. So you could make your own little pack like this, and you could have cheese and this cool little thing of nuts and as much turkey tenderloin as you want, and that would still only be, that would be what, 5 points instead of this little tiny skimpy thing. I can't stand these. These are skimpy. Okay, don't buy those. And if you wanted to top it off, you could have a hard-boiled egg with it too. So that would be a perfect idea. Okay, real quick. One more thing I wanted to show you. Finger size vegetables are always a great idea to keep in there, and things that are sturdy, so like baby carrots or these mini cucumbers. I talk about these mini cucumbers all the time, and every single week I have people go, what is that? Where do you get these? Are those pickling cucumbers? They are not pickling cucumbers. If you go to Trader Joe's, they're called Persian cucumbers. Across the street at Food City, they are just called mini cucumbers. I've seen them at Sam's, and I have seen them at Costco. I've seen them at both of those places, but these are perfect. You don't have to peel them. They're like burpless tomatoes, cucumbers. Just pick them up and eat them. I mean, wash them before you take them, before you pack them, but just pick them up and eat them. They're so easy to eat. Okay, last thing real quick. We do this a lot when we're standing in line at Disney. We do this, again, soccer, volleyball. We did all soccer and volleyball, so that's all I know how to talk about. But something like this, so like any kind of like low point tortilla that's going to be, again, they're sturdy. So instead of packing bread, which it's going to get squished, and whatever, some kind of tortillas like this. And John and I are loving this. These are fairly new to us, but we are loving the La Banderita carb counter carb lean tortillas. So this is the snack size. They are 1 smart point. The size that's a little bit bigger than this is 1 smart point. The street taco size is 3 of them for 1 smart point. But John made a bologna sandwich with this today. We used to take these to like the volleyball tournaments. Oh, a little fruit fly. We used to take these to the volleyball tournaments. And then in the cooler, so I'd have a pack of some kind of tortillas in the cooler, and then I would have some kind of lean meat in there so that the kids could make whatever kind of sandwich that they wanted to, and pack like some olives to go or some pickles. And what you can do is you can take one of the tortillas, you can put a thing of cheese in the middle, put a couple of slices of the meat. We'll put a couple of the slices of the meat on the tortilla first. Put a piece of cheese, a piece of this 1 point cheese in the middle. Then line up some cucumbers down there, roll it up, and you can have a walk-around sandwich. You can have a walk-around sandwich. It's neat. It's easy. It's not going to be messy. It's not like trying to walk around with a piece of bread that's going to get squished. Or when we're at Disney, we do this. We'll do the same thing. Take this, one of these Jif to-goes. This is 8 points worth of peanut butter. So this whole thing is 8 points. But if you have a buddy with you, you can split it. And so you can have 4 points, but you spread that on here. And then you wrap a banana, wrap it around a banana. Again, you've got a peanut butter and banana sandwich you can walk around with. Or you can always keep these, and these are not perishable. So they don't have to be refrigerated. You can take, like this one is chicken of the sea, wild caught pink salmon, lemon and chive in a little bag, or the bumblebee. And these are getting kind of hard to find here, but the bumblebee, this is already pre-made tuna salad. So like this one, I think this one is 1 or 2 points. This one, the bumblebee sandwich in seconds, is 1 point. And the bumblebee one has a little spoon in here. So you just spread that on there and you got a tuna sandwich. Okay, so how easy is that? Okay, so those are all of my cooler tips and tricks. We do have a couple of prior chats on this if you want to go back and see any of those. So we've got one that's called On the Road Again. And then I think there's like a Disney one, but I will try to remember to post the Disney one that has the cubed turkey in it, because I'm telling you, the cubed turkey, we'll just eat it riding down the road, and it's awesome, and it is so good, and it's so much better for you than running through, again, the Golden Arches. So, okay, whew, that was a lot of talking in a little bit of time. So thank you all very much for being here. If you're watching this later on YouTube, go ahead and let the next video roll over. And if you haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and click this little button down here, over here somewhere. Go ahead and click that little button and go ahead and subscribe and click the bell so that it'll notify you next time. If you wanted one of the mason jar caps, those are on kckitchencenter.com. The tumblers are 20 ounces. So somebody asked me what the size was last week. I was guessing 20, but I didn't want to say it. 20 ounces. And if you all didn't notice it, do you see my baby pumpkins here? Casey is making me a little tiny, or a little pumpkin patch here for the upcoming fall, since I keep saying that it's September. But she crocheted those. I'll have to show you those next week. Anyway, so y'all have an awesome and amazing week. It was so good to see you. Do not forget to do your homework this week because I love giving out the badges. But y'all have a great week, and I will see you next time. Good night.